The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Well, welcome everybody. This is the Habits of Health webinar. I'm David Bush, and I am so excited that you are here tonight. Maybe you are a client on our program, or maybe you're somebody that's just kind of kicking the tires, and maybe a friend or family member or somebody on Facebook posted a link to this, and we're glad that you're here too as well. I think that anybody that's here today, whether you're a person that's considering our program, if you're a client of our program, if you're a long-term veteran of our program, or maybe you're a coach or a health professional, everybody is welcome in our Habits of Health webinars. And tonight, we're going to be talking about a critical component to your success in adopting a healthier lifestyle and sustaining it and creating health and well-being in your life. And I can't wait to share a little bit more of my story. And tonight, I've got one of our veteran health coaches, one of our top leaders in the organization, who's got an amazing story, and she's got so much expertise, and she's got so much passion for this idea of helping other people to get healthier. Lisa, welcome to the webinar tonight.
Thank you, David. Thanks for inviting me on to join with you.
You bet. Well, so excited that you're all here. If you just arrived and you haven't had a chance to find the chat feature, make sure you find the chat feature, because there's another conversation that's going on that's people encouraging people and sharing feedback and you know, kind of giving some feedback on what their takeaways were or what their ahas were. And so if you're watching this as a recording, be sure that you get a chance to check out the live presentation, because there's some great community that's taking place right inside of this live presentation. And if you are watching a recording, make sure that you leave a post or a message. If you're watching this on Facebook in a recording, put a comment inside the Facebook post, or if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure that you leave a comment, because we'd love to hear feedback for those people that can't attend the live presentation. Well, let's go ahead and jump in. Tonight's agenda, we're going to be talking about the benefits of a solid support system. We're going to give you some specific strategies. I'm going to put Lisa on the hot seat. She's been doing this for 16 years, and so I'm going to give her a couple of opportunities to share some real core strategies that she's been able to adopt, and how she's been able to help a whole bunch of other people to adopt healthy support strategies. And then we're going to give you some simple steps that you can use to improve your results and really strengthen your resolve to achieve the results that you started this process for today. You may be in a position right now where you may be struggling a little bit. You may be in a position where you are just, you know, thinking that maybe it's not going to work out, or maybe you're just kind of doubting yourself. You've gone forward, but you've taken 2 steps back. Or maybe you're just getting started, and everything that you've always done before, you failed at. And this is that one last chance. And I want to give you hope. I want to give you hope that the resources that we have available to us are based upon truth. It's based upon science. Dr. Anderson, our founder, co-founder, and leader, has written some amazing resources. And be sure that you talk to your coach to talk about what resources are a great fit for you. The Habits of Health system is an amazing system that will create predictable transformation if you consume it. But it's not going to be very transformational if you just let it sit on your desk or sit underneath your bed or whatever you've got it right now. Lisa, what would you say about the different resources and you know, the ebook, and there's so many different things that people can read? What kind of encouragement would you give to somebody that's maybe looking to really make lifelong transformation?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin? A lot of people say, well, I'm not a reader. I'm going to say you can become a reader, right? I love to encourage people to just open up, and I know Dr. A has even talked about just read the margins on the side, and it'll cause you to kind of dive into some other things. And you can even look at the table of contents to say, okay, this is something in particular I really want to work on. So I got to say, David, there was no Habits of Health when I started. The first 5 years, we were making it up. And thank goodness I was at that place where you talked about desperate. And this was my way to really change my life. And so I was dedicated to creating a healthy lifestyle. When he wrote that book, I was all over it.
You bet. And we're going to talk about some different ways that individuals create a healthy support system. And Lisa was using just a couple of pillars when she first started, and then it's expanded to this 4-component system. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that tonight. But if you've had a chance to read Dr. A's Habits of Health, you can go in and take a look at chapter, I think that it's chapter 18 in the book, and page 222. Dr. A makes this profound statement. And this might be worth jotting down. So if you have a pen and paper handy, you might want to just draw this out. This triangle concept is what brings everything together. The healthy habits, what he calls the macro habits, are all brought together with the concept of support. And you may have been starting this journey or thinking about starting this journey or thinking about restarting this journey, and you may be focused in on one particular triangle. Like you might be saying to yourself, I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. I just need to follow my plan. I just need to stop eating this at this time. I need to start getting more exercise. I need to start getting more sleep. You may be thinking that those are the critical components, but this quote that Dr. A has written, it's in italics on page 222. You might want to highlight that, because I don't know why he took 18 chapters, Lisa, to come up with this, but in terms of, making this to be such a big deal in your 16 years of being on your health journey and helping, hundreds of, if not thousands of people to get healthier, why do you think that he says that building a support system is the single most important thing that you can do to incorporate and maintain the habits of health?
Oh, undoubtedly. When we go on the road alone, it's so easy to get lost along the way. But when we have somebody there guiding us, I think of the GPS system guiding you back to where it's going to really create that direction to get you where you really want to go, that desired outcome.
Yeah, so many of us have fallen prey to maybe some negative perspective or some negative friends and family members. And I'd love for you to do this exercise with me tonight. I'd love for you to take this picture that I'm showing on the screen. If you're listening to this as on a podcast, I have a circle with the word you inside the circle. And then I've got 5 circles all connected to the middle circle that are surrounding that center circle. And in each one of the 5 circles that are surrounding that center circle, they have a plus and a minus sign with a blank line in it. And I'd like for you to think about the 5 people that you spend the most time with: family, friends, coworkers, members of your faith community. I want you to think about who are the 5 people that you're spending the most time with. And I want you to write their name down. If you just have a blank sheet of paper, you could just write down the names of 5 people. And I think that most of you have heard this before, but there's a quote that says is that, you become like the people that you spend the most time with, or your future is based upon the 5 people that you spend the most time with and the books that you read, which goes right along with what we're talking about tonight, Lisa, and the idea of reading the habits of health and consuming the habits of health, but then also making sure that you are consuming the right kinds of supportive relationships. So if everybody's had a chance to write down the names of their 5 people, what I want you to do now is I want you to just give a description, and I just want you to give a plus or a minus. And the reason why we're going to do a plus or a minus is I want you to establish, is that person that you wrote their name down, are they an inspiration to you? Are they healthier than you are? Are they practicing healthier lifestyle habits than you are currently? And are they acting as a positive influence and an encouragement and an inspiration to you? If they are a positive, if there's somebody that's promoting your healthy lifestyle and encouraging you and inspiring you and holding you accountable, I want you to give them a plus sign. And if they're not, if they're a negative influence on your healthy habits, they ask you to do things that are not always healthy, I want you to give them a minus. And if they're somewhere in between, you can just give them, a straight line, just to say they're kind of in the middle. And I want you just to take a quick little inventory and just see how many of your 5 closest family members and friends are positive influences in your health, and how many of them are negative. Lisa, I don't know if you've ever done this exercise personally, but when you first got started, you obviously had a busy life, you had some stress in your work. What were your relationships like? What was your family and friendship and coworker lifestyle? And did you have a lot of positive influences?
I can't say that I did. My brother, who is my health coach, he actually was very healthy and fit, but he wasn't sleeping at all. So that was a one. And then we actually used to gather around the trough, is what we used to say. We get together for family gatherings, and it was all about the food. And even we never drank to the gatherings, but the people were passing out from overeating. And now, total transformation when it comes to family gatherings. Just love that part. So I'm surrounded by all kinds of people now, but that was not the case.
Yeah, and oftentimes it takes somebody that decides to get healthier before the rest of the tribe gets healthier. And so sometimes you have to be that positive influence for other people. But I want you to throw in the chat message, how many of your 5 people were a positive influence? I'd love to see the numbers pop in. Did you get 5 out of 5? Does anybody have 5s? Does anybody have 4s? Or are there some people out there with some 0s, like none of your friends and family members? And I haven't had a chance to take a look at the chat, but I see it blowing up right now. Lisa, maybe you could take a look and give me some feedback. Are you seeing any 5s popping in? I'd love to.
I saw 1 5 so far. There's 3 to 5, 5, but most of them are 1 to 3 would be the norm, and then a few with 0 even. So it's like,
well, that's great. That's a great reflection, right? That's an aha moment for some of these people that are putting these numbers in there. And what I would tell you is that most of you have maybe been told by a friend or a family member, don't hang out with negative influences. And if you have kids, some of you have younger kids, I got teenagers, and when my kids go to hang out with friends, I always want to know, who are those friends? Because if those friends are negative influences, I got a pretty good idea that I don't want you spending a lot of time with those people. Now, you can't divorce your spouse because they're unhealthy. That's not what we're recommending here. We're not trying to tell you that you can't spend time with your kids, but it's being aware how many people are surrounding you with healthy choices and making sure that you're prepared to overcome those negative influences and those negative impacts on you, and actually being a positive influence and standing in the struggle when people are maybe challenging you and pushing food on you.
Yeah, I love the fact that with a coach, you have that individual one-on-one support, but even in our communities, the agents of transformation, and seeing those, where people are getting healthy together, even virtually. If you surround yourself with like-minded people going towards a common goal, no matter where you're at on your journey, you surround yourself with people like that, and you're bound to create the life that you desire.
Yeah, that's so powerful, is having that support system that's, sometimes pulling you up, and sometimes you're helping somebody else to be pulled up. And that's one of the things that we talk about in our program, is the idea of not only having somebody to pull you up, but also having somebody that you're pulling up, because sometimes the person that you pull up is the one that holds you from sliding back. And so this idea of creating a chain of arms and support is so powerful. And this visual of seeing people that are climbing the mountain, this might be a little bit much for some of you that are thinking, I can't carry everybody else up the mountain. We understand. So it's so powerful to have a support system in place. And I do believe that we all need support. Did you have something else you wanted to add, Lisa?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments going on about that. And some people are saying, I saw somebody say, you got to clean out your tribe. Well, you know what, like David was saying, you're not going to divorce your spouse because they're not healthy. You're going to inspire them, and then find other people in your life that can go join you in that, to be that inspiration. There's also, I see that the kids are making their OPTAVIA pancakes for them, so they're being a great influence in their family. And then one person was talking about that she had an honest conversation with her husband, saying, I really need your support here. And when somebody might not be healthy, you can at least gain their support, and who knows, maybe they'll start to get healthy along. And that's what happened. I remember my sister, I did have a positive influence at the time. My sister would come to family gatherings with things like kale or yogurt ice cream, and we made fun of her behind her back. I got to confess, we did, because we were so unhealthy. Why is she bringing that junk in here? Now, it's like, so the tables have now turned into being healthy eating, because we did include people, not exclude them. So I just want to encourage you to think that way.
So true. And what I found, I came from a family where everybody was oftentimes eating more and exercising less. If food was entertainment, food was medication, exercise was thought of as being kind of crazy. Who's the guy that's out running, or the gal that's running on the street? Who is that person, and why are they running on the street? That's the way we thought about people. And here's what I found is, when you look at the law of innovation, when change is coming, first it is ridiculed. just like what Lisa was talking about, the laughing at the kale, it's the ridicule that comes first. So if you're being ridiculed, know that you're in good company. And then it's violently or vehemently opposed. People are saying, we don't want to eat like this, Mom. Why can't we eat like normal people? Why can't we just eat normal? And some of you are saying that. Why can't I just be normal? Well, you know what normal is? 72% of Americans are overweight and obese. You want to be normal? Don't be normal. Strive to be extraordinary. And what will happen is you'll start drawing some of these family members and friends and faith community members and co-workers, and they'll start getting healthier. And what will happen is that their success will then become part of your story. And that'll start to make you feel more significant and successful and accountable. And that's why so many of our clients decide to actually pay it forward, is because they realize that becoming a coach is not being an expert. And Lisa, I'd love to hear your comments on this, but the idea of paying it forward and encouraging somebody else on their journey is actually really your journey to help to solidify your decision to be a healthier person, and just simply take what you've learned and hand that off to somebody else and give that gift to somebody else, so that at some point they come back and give you a gift and say, thank you. Thank you for helping me to climb the mountain. And I know that you've experienced this as much as I have, Lisa, is some of the people that you pay it forward, whether you've been a coach or just a health champion, and you've encouraged your friends and family members to get healthier, those people will become one of your greatest motivators, because you'll start seeing what they're doing and they'll actually start inspiring you to do something more. So anything you want to add to that, Lisa?
Yeah, in our family, those unhealthy people I was talking about, most of them ended up becoming clients, and most of those people ended up becoming health coaches, because we were talking the talk so much. They say the best way to learn something is to teach it. And when you teach something, it's much more, you want to learn it at a higher level, and it starts instilling it more and more in your own self as you turn around and help others do the same. Whether you're a coach or not, to have that kind of influence, pretty amazing. We lost over 2,000 pounds in our family.
Oh my goodness. You guys are going to start rolling quarters and putting them in your pocket. You're going to blow away. Goodness gracious.
And improved health beyond measure. So it's amazing.
That is so great. So cool to hear stories like that. And that's just one story out of over 1 million people that have done this program. So imagine all the family members that have experienced the ripple effect. Now, here's another visual. If you're listening to the podcast, another visual is I have a picture that comes from chapter 18 of Dr. A's Habits of Health book, and it has a circle with the word you. And it's surrounded by 4 circles that are connected by a line that's another circle. And that's what Dr. Anderson calls the microenvironment of support. It's the bubble of support. And when you have your coach, which is one of the bubbles of support, and you stay connected. So maybe you're a coach right now and you've lost a little bit of a connection. You've been helping other people and you haven't been talking to your coach. And maybe some of your habits have started to slide, or maybe you're a client and you've just got it down and you're losing weight and things are going great. And oh my goodness, I don't need to talk to that person. I'm doing fantastic. What do I need to talk to them for? You don't know what you don't know. And your coach is not there to be your weight loss police. Your coach is there to help guide you to the different resources, to help you to create your bubble of support, and to make sure that you're being drawn in to the resources that you need to have at the time that you need to have them. There's 4 phases of the Dr. A's Habits of Health system, which the first one is weight loss. And people oftentimes zoom through that when they're following our optimal weight 5-in-1 plan. But oftentimes they don't navigate to the second phase, which is the equilibration or transition phase, where they begin to adopt healthy habits and balance calories in, calories out, and really start to learn healthy eating for life. And then they start to move towards optimization only if they're talking to their coach, because most people, Lisa, I mean, you've taken it to ultra health. You've taken it to the 4th level, the 4th phase. That's why I wanted to have you on. Talk about how important it was for your coach to be there and to help you to continue to set goals beyond just your weight goal.
Well, the health coaching wasn't developed to the point where it is today. So we were still learning our walk. It was more self at that time, and I had self-motivation, but I'll tell you what I've recognized since then, people that don't have that, that's the number one thing that keeps them going, is the support. And I know that, you know, you mentioned that some coaches or some clients don't reach out to their health coach because they're doing so well they don't think they need them, or they think they know everything already. The opposite is true too, and I bet you a lot of you on the line here, you and you're welcome to put it in the chat if you want. You don't want to reach out to your coach because you didn't do it well, or you made a mistake, or you went off plan, and it's like, oh, but I'll get back on it, then I'll get back to them. Your coach is there for that part. That's what they're there for, through the good and the bad. It's kind of like with your kids. Do you only play with them or spend time with them when they're being good? Or do you hang out with them when they're learning lessons along the way? So keep that in mind. Coach is there as that support. They're there for you, not to judge, but to support and lift you up.
Yeah, and I would encourage you as a client, if you really want to get the best results from this program, be the most coachable client that you can be. And what that means is be open to new ideas, be open to some perspective, be open to being challenged to try some new things, and come to your coaching conversation with your coach with actual progress updates that are not just about weight. You know, I like to ask the questions, what have you lost? Inches, unhealthy habits, and pounds? And what have you learned in terms of the habits of health and learning about healthy recipes and lean and green meals and dining out? What are you learning about that? And then what are you looking forward to this week? And when I have those 3 questions answered, I'm able to give resources like the internet-based support and the resources that are coming through the different Facebook groups and the support groups and the answers.optavia.com. There's so many amazing resources. Or maybe there's a peer that's had a similar experience or is going on a trip, and your coach can connect you to them, and maybe another client could share some of the things that they learned about fueling hacks or things that are helping them to reach their goals. But there's so much value in having an understanding of all the amazing resources that are available through your OPTAVIA support system. You know, we have this 3 steps to mastery that Dr. Anderson talks about. And, you know, you could decide to become an amateur at health. And some people just want to get the weight off for the wedding, or get, you know, they want to improve their health for their wife or their doctor or their husband. But those people that want to go beyond just being an amateur, they want to actually become somebody that is knowledgeable in understanding how to live a healthy lifestyle and enjoy it. Those people are going to choose to study health. You know, there's a great quote out there by a great author and speaker named Jim Rohn, and he says, you know, if a person wants to be healthy, they study health. If a person wants to be wealthy, they study wealth. If a person wants to be happy, they study happiness. Let me just ask you the honest question. No need to put a number in the chat. Let me just ask you a question. Are you studying health, or are you just simply changing what you're eating and trying to exercise or be active? You know, what you don't know is what you don't know. And that's what I learned as a part of this process. And my own personal experience was I needed to get new information in, because what I was doing wasn't giving me the lifelong transformation that I desired. And when I began to study, Lisa, and I began to do some of the things that I didn't really want to do, my coach challenged me to eat more vegetables and try different vegetables. I think I used, 9 of our fuelings. I think there's over 60 of them, and I used 9 of them. And then I had a very simple nutrition plan when it came to lean and greens. And my coach challenged me to expand my palate and to not just go with the flow and just do what I always did. And he knew that I had a 6.5-month journey in the weight loss phase to lose 100 pounds. And so that coaching and being open to that allowed me to do something that I wasn't comfortable with. And because he challenged me to study 1 page a day or 1 paragraph a day, he just said, Dave, do something every day to study the habits of health. And then when he challenged me to model the habits of health to my family and friends, and to encourage them to get healthy and to be intentional about sharing what I was doing. He actually asked me to share what it is that I was doing with people, to put my friends on notice so that my friends would know what I valued. And I don't know about you and those of you that are watching this right now, but some of you are doing this in you're undercover. You don't want anybody to know you're trying to lose weight. You don't want anybody to know that you're trying to be healthy, because you failed so many times before. So it's your little secret with your coach. But Lisa, maybe you could expand on this a little bit, but the power of being intentional, and you don't have to tell people that you're doing OPTAVIA. I would actually recommend you don't say that you're doing OPTAVIA. I would tell people that you've decided. Dr. Anderson talks about in chapter 3 and 4 of the Habits of Health book, making the fundamental decision, which is a value-based decision to say, I have decided to create a healthier lifestyle. I've decided to live a healthy lifestyle and enjoy it. Anything else that you want to talk about just in being intentional and sharing with your support system or your friends and family members, Lisa?
Yeah, if you're going out and doing things with your friends or celebrating or dinner together or just having getting together for coffee or a meal, are you focused on being the example for them, or are they actually leading you towards some unhealthy choices? So would you like to model for them, or do you want them to model an unhealthy life? Which one do you want to follow? And when we model a healthy way of living, people are going to be attracted to that. Guess who your next 5 friends are going to be? They're going to be healthier people, or people that want health in their life, and you're going to surround yourself with all new people. I was a hermit when I started, surrounded by unhealthy family. Now we have so many healthy friends and a very much healthier family than we ever had.
You bet. And I think that all of us, if we were given the decision to live an optimally healthy life and to help other people to live an optimally healthy life, if we were given a decision or a choice to make, many of us, I think all of us would say yes. If I could, I would want to have optimal health and well-being. I'd want to be a 10 in each one of these areas. But maybe if I can ask you another honest question in a time of self-reflection, is that, are you really making progress in all 3 areas? Or are you just trying to get healthy physically in a vacuum? Meanwhile, your mental and financial and vocational health is in disarray. One of the things that we do with our clients and our candidates is we do this well-being evaluation. And I would encourage you to reach out to your coach or the person that invited you to this presentation and ask them for the well-being evaluation, and ask them to help you to create a plan of action to move from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. And as we wrap up tonight, I would just love to see in the chat what it is that you are going to do to improve your support system. Are you going to reach out and schedule a regular, reoccurring coaching conversation with your coach? Are you going to recommit to going public with your health journey and being public on social media and saying, today, last month, 6 years ago, I decided to live a healthy lifestyle and learn to enjoy it. And so far I have done this, this, and this. If I can do it, so can you. Would you be willing to tell your friends and family members what your goals are for the next 30 days and encourage them to join you in getting healthier? Dr. Anderson has this great concept of stop, challenge, and choose. And I just encourage all of you to use that tonight as a strategy. Use it as a resource and as an idea to help you to take a better look at your support system and do a little bit of a rehaul, do a little bit of a touch-up. Take advantage of what Dr. Anderson says is the most important element, the catalyst, the agent that provokes or speeds up significant change, and choose to create radiant, optimal health and well-being in your life and benefit from the support system that's been created on our behalf by this amazing organization called OPTAVIA. And if you decide that you want to join us as a coach, you'd like to explore that, we have so many opportunities for people to join in with us right now. There couldn't be a better time for people to join in with this organization. And I don't have all the time to go through all the different reasons of why people become a coach, but if you're interested in learning more about what it means to pay it forward, reach out to your coach and ask them for more information about what it is that we do as coaches. And if you found value from this recording, please introduce this and share this with somebody else that you think would benefit. Lisa, thanks so much for joining me tonight for the Habits of Health call. I really appreciate you being here, and thanks everybody for joining us. We look forward to having you back here next week.
I heard a lot of recommitments so to contact their coach in the chat. So this is great. So good job, David. Thank you so much for doing this valuable call tonight.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.